So what I will be talking about today is targeting Android with Qt. Basically, what I'm going to tell you is a little bit about how you develop Qt applications for Android. And I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to explain to you that once you've gotten that application running on your phone, how do you get it into the Android market? And I've actually done it myself, which means that I know what I'm talking about. I've done a similar talk lots of times before for Symbian, and a lot of the times when I did that talk, I hadn't yet managed to publish something on the Symbian platform. So this time I know everything from A to Z, because I actually have an application in the Android market, which is running Qt Quick. So I'm going to be talking for, yeah, I should start the timer. I'm going to be talking for, I think, about an hour. And then after that, I think there's 10 minutes for questions. If something is very unclear as we're going, you can just stop me or raise your hand. And about me, my name's Espen. My Twitter nickname is Snowpong. Don't ask why I ended up with that name. I used to work for Trolltech and Nokia for 8 years. When I was there, I was the team lead for the Windows CE port and the Symbian port. And then I founded my own company together with Marius, who's talking in the other room right here. And we make apps, basically. And we're making apps for mobiles and tablets using Qt, because we love Qt. And I still believe in Qt everywhere, especially for mobile. When I talk to people and they have to spend the same amount of money for each platform they want to target, if you want to have iPhone, if you want to have Android, if you want to have BlackBerry, if you want to have Symbian, you have to do it 4 times. That's complete and utter nonsense. So with Qt Quick and Qt 5, you can rock the world, and if we work together, we can make Qt everywhere. As I said, we make apps. We are guns for hire, so we've done a lot of apps in Norway. These are, like this thing is basically a competitor to Spotify. So we've made that, and it's actually being shipped on the N9s, being sold in Norway. That's pretty cool. And we've done other apps, which are basically either media apps, weather apps, yeah, all sorts of kinds of apps. Purpose of this talk: teach you how to publish Qt apps in the Android market. And my vested interest is that you start trying to do what I did, and then you notice, oh, this is dumb, or this should be fixed, or I have a good idea. And then you get involved in the Qt for Android project, and we make it better together. That's my vested interest. And then once we've done that, we'll do even more. Here's the agenda. I'll talk about Qt on the mobile platforms of Necessitas, which is the name of the Qt for Android community project. Then, how do you get it to the Android market? And then I'll basically summarize. Here's a picture of one of the statues outside Google's headquarters. For every release they do where they change the code name, they create a big figure for it. This is the gingerbread release. In the background, you could see the honey, what's it called? Honeycomb, right. A brief introduction on which mobile platforms you can target with Qt. I grade them out on purpose. There are these platforms today. What you're seeing here is 2010 second quarter, 2011 second quarter, and it's the percentage of shipped phones in that quarter, right? So it doesn't tell the market share of existing phones in the world. It simply says who shipped the most, which platforms shipped the most. And Qt is really just supported on one of these. That's Symbian, right? And of course, we have a Windows CE port, right? But that doesn't really add up into this. Migo is not here because basically they haven't sold many of it. Who knows what will happen? But basically, at the moment, the only mobile platform which Qt really is supported for, if you want to target a big audience, is Symbian. And that had a pretty drastic decline if you just look at how many were shipped compared to 2010, 2011. These numbers are from Gartner. I have the link if you want it. Wouldn't it be nice if we also get Qt on Android? Because, you know, they cover a lot together. And that's what we actually have already. A little bit of details on Android. I'll take the mouse with me. I think that'll be good. 4 major releases, 16 minor. Android is a pretty good, has a pretty good rate of new releases. ARM and x86, I'll get more into the details because we're basically talking native applications here, so we need to actually care about these things. Linux-based, it has its own flavor of Java stuff. That's what I call the Java stuff. I'll move the mouse here, yeah. Some well-known models. Today I will be showing stuff on my Galaxy S2. That's maybe one of the most powerful mobile phones out there. Then you have the tablet, which Apple is trying to sue to not exist. And then you have the Xperia Play running Minecraft, which I highly suggest you try out. Android has version numbers, code names, and API levels. Really, the most interesting for us is the API levels. When you create an application and you upload it in the Android market, you say what is the API level that you support, meaning this API level and later ones. So you could say, I support API level 7, and that means 8, 9, 10, 11, blah, 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 right? And this applies both to binary, to native and to Java applications. A little bit about the fragmentation stuff on Android. Very often people say Android is very fragmented, especially if they're iPhone developers and they live in a very nice world where everything is the same. I would say it's not fragmented, it's the real world. You have different versions on different phones. Some of the phones have QWERTY keyboards, some of the phones have different resolutions. If you use Qt, really, that's not such a big deal. So just, you know, grow up. If you say, we support API level 7 and later, how much do you actually lose of the market? Well, if you look at it, I got these statistics pretty recent. The last 14 days, ending on October 3rd, these were the phones actively used on the Android market. So you could see that if we said our application would only support API level 7, you're only losing the 2 top ones, which together is 2.5%. So, you know, who really, you don't care. You don't. Here's my dream. As I said, these numbers were not the market share in the world. It's simply the shipped phones in the second quarter of 2011. Symbian was around 22. What we're talking about right now is adding Android, right? That's a big part of the pie. There already also is an iPhone port. There's actually several iPhone ports. We could get that supported as well, especially with open governance if we work together. But today, I'm talking about Android. Any questions so far? No? Necessitas is a community project for Android, and it was started, and the main developer is Bogdan Vatra. He is not here today, sadly, but the good news is he is working on the next release. They were hoping to release it today. Most likely it will be released within this week, I hope. The last release, which I'm using for this presentation, was in June, right before the Contributor Summit. So that means there's been lots of fixes since that release. So some of the hacks that I've been doing here are you don't need to do them anymore, and I'll tell you of the things which have been improved and will come in the next alpha release. To install Necessitas, so why is it called Necessitas and Ministro and all these things? I really don't know. It's just called Necessitas, but what it really is the Qt SDK packaged for Android, right? So if you want to install it, I suggest use the Linux version. It's the most stable one. There is one for Windows and Mac as well, but they're not as polished. Install it as yourself, not as root. Otherwise, you may run into problems. I'm not going to explain why. Just do that. And if, for some reason, the GNOME style crashes when you're running it on Ubuntu, simply do style cleanlux, and it doesn't crash. That's when you run Qt Creator. Before you install Necessitas, and the download link are here and here, I made a short one called bit.ly Necessitas 021. But honestly, you could just Google it as well. Before you install that, you install OpenJDK and Ant. In the next alpha, that's already included. Default values are OK. Have no fear. Just say yes. What do you get when you install Necessitas? You get the Android SDK. That's the Java stuff. The Android NDK, that's the C, C++ native stuff. You get, of course, tools and compilers and stuff in there as well. Qt, Qt WebKit, and Qt Mobility, those are the actual ports, right? Qt Creator, lots of changes in Qt Creator, some of them which have been pushed upstream back into Qt Creator proper, to extend it so that you have Android included in Qt Creator. And then GDB and GDB server, there are some custom versions of those. They are not as polished, so I'll get a little bit on that. But they have included custom builds of GDB and GDB server so that you can do on-device debugging. Ant and JDK are not included, but they will be included. But you need them for the moment. OK, we have now installed Necessitas on our PC. Before we run stuff, you have to add at least one emulator, or else it may crash on you. So simply go into your Android SDK directory, start the Android tool, which is in the tools directory, and add a virtual device. This is the Android SDK and AWD, which is virtual device manager. And here I'm adding an emulator for API level 7 with an SD card of ½ a gig. And then you just say yes, and then it's fine. But really, what you want to do is to get it on your phone. From my experience, emulators, I don't use them. I either develop on the desktop with a window which is resized down to what the display on the phone is, because that's a lot faster, or I deploy directly to the device. That's what I suggest you do as well. There's a small snag. When you plug in the phone, it may start the Android debug bridge, ADB, without the right, what's it called? Yeah. User rights. So if you get, you can run ADB devices. If you get this question mark, question mark, question mark, no permission, it means you need to restart ADB because you want this stuff, long number device. That means ADB is now talking to your phone connected to the laptop. So that's just a small tip there. If you're going to develop, you might as well just install Ministro. Ministro is part of Necessitas. It is the smart installer thingy, which makes Qt libraries come to your phone. You can also install Ministro on your emulator if you don't have a phone. It just makes your life easier. You can deploy Qt libraries directly to the device without using Ministro. But just as a start, just use Ministro. OK, here's the part where I would do this live. But yeah, I'll show you afterwards. I'm going to create a small project. It will basically be a Qt Quick project. Here's the things I were planning to do. I create a Qt Quick application. I set the target. Typically you get target Symbian, Migo, Windows, blah, blah, blah. Now in addition you get Android. And then I selected only ARM v5. You have ARM v7 as well, but just to keep things simple, let's just support the lowest common ARM architecture. One thing you have to do is you have to add declarative yourself. It doesn't automatically understand that, oh, this is a Qt quick project. So what you do then is you go into project settings and you add declarative to the libraries. Then you need to set the API level. I suggest 7 is fine. Then you get a lot of the phones. And one of the things that I typically tend to do is to fix the deployment issue by simply compiling in the resources in the executable itself. How many of you here have made either a Symbian or a MeGo app? A raise of hands, please. Okay. So you probably experienced a little bit that sometimes all the files you need aren't coming with the application on the phone. So sometimes it doesn't find the QML file or the PNG file. I suggest simply just add it to a resource file and then set the main QML file to this. And then it's not funky at all. I just added a small gradient. So if we can see the... you have no picture? Okay, let's try. Technology, are you with us? Okay, we're trying again. What I have here is an MHL cable that gets HDMI out from this. Then you will see it this way. Okay. Okay, here we have an S2. Here's, this thing is a gradient. Here you have a gradient. This is the QML application running. If I click it, it will quit. Let's do it for real. Yeah, well, we did. Here are the files which have been added to the project. You know the profiles, you know the CPP files, right? What are these new things which suddenly have been added by Necessitas? Well, you have an Android directory which has a manifest file. That file tells what's the name of the package, what's the version number of your thing, what's the capabilities it needs. Do you need network services? It's probably not called that on Android, but the manifest file basically describes the package. Then you have the res directory. That's where your icons go, some XML files describing strings of certain values which are used by the manifest and others. And then you have the source directory here, which has lots of Java files. This is the magic stuff that loads the Qt libraries, gets a surface, and makes your whole application start. And here's how it really works. It's a little bit technical now, but that's why you're here, right? So on this side, you have C++ or native. On this side, you have Java, Dalvik, virtual machine world, okay? So when I just pressed this thing, what happened was that a Java activity or an Android activity was started. This is the Qt activity. These are all Java files. I use Dalvik and Java. I don't make a distinction between them in this talk. So what they do is they load the Qt libraries, Qt Core, Qt GUI, Qt Declarative, all the what we love and use every day. And also the plugin, QPA is the Lighthouse, Qt Platform something. Yeah, thank you, Qt Platform Abstraction. And once all of these are loaded, and these are the ones that actually link with native libraries. Once all of these are loaded, it loads your application. But on Qt for Android, it's actually not an application, it's a library with the main function in it, right? So it loads all the Qt libraries, it loads the plugin, and then it loads your application, which is actually a library. And then it starts main. And how does everything happen after that? I mean, in main, the Qt event loop is started, right? So the event loop is now waiting for stuff to happen. And you do something, maybe you flick. So that event travels through these wrapper classes through the plugin into the Qt event loop and is injected into the Qt's event loop. And Qt does very smart stuff and then updates the display with graphics or starts a network connection or whatever it does, whatever you told it to do. That's how the port works. It is possible to have activities which are all on this side. You don't need this anymore. But if you want to support API levels which are still relevant, you need the Java wrapper stuff. But the native SDK for Android is just growing every day, so you can do more and more for every new release that comes. Okay, debugging, use QDebug. GDB and GDB server works, but they work when there's a full moon and you have a chicken over your head and you bang your leg. No, it's a little bit better, but the next release is going to be a lot better because I know that Ray, one of the guys working on it, has done work on making this better. What's the status like? Well, basically you have an almost complete SDK for Windows, Mac, and Linux, which has a Qt creator, which can deploy libraries and apps and run them and debug them, which basically is the Qt SDK. One of the things it doesn't do completely yet is to sign the package and etc. And there's no upload to Android Market button yet. If we were to quickly look at some of the modules, this is kind of a summary of the status as it is in the Alpha 2 release, in my opinion. Fairly complete main modules of Qt, some small stuff missing. The atomic stuff is fixed. The menu integration stuff is not fixed. The Ssl certificate is really not a bug. It's just we're arguing a little bit about how the stuff should be done. Qt declarative, missing some components, but that's not declarative's problem. And OpenGLES, that's already been implemented. Thomas, are you here? No. Thomas Senik, one of the guys in Qt, has been helping out and doing the OpenGLES implementation. What you saw now with the gradient stuff was actually using the software rasterizer, the Qt software rasterizer, right? It would be even better if we could use OpenGL, and you can. You just have to wait for you either build the repository yourself, or you wait for the alpha, the third alpha. Location and sensors are pretty okay. Multimedia is not okay. It needs somebody to come in and be heroic and redo it, refactor the code. That's what I've heard anyway. Okay. Yes, stability needed. Join us, test it, feedback. Some popularity statistics. This only goes to August. When it first was released, Alpha 2, until the end of August, it had around 5,000 downloads. Here you see the group, the user group mailing list. Here's the developer mailing list. That's a very decline here, but I'm blaming it on the summer holiday. And then you have the commit log. Yeah, just give you a little bit of hint of where the project is. The roadmap. Alpha 3 is basically done, and it's being tested right now, so you should expect a release within a week or two. Alpha 4, this is a roadmap which I haven't decided this. I'm simply just telling you what the project has for the current roadmap. Alpha 4 was thinking of doing Android style and menu integration, so that the Q menu would automatically integrate with the Android native menu. And the beta, refactoring of Java code and promising of binary compatibility, because that's not promised yet. But actually the refactoring of the Java code, which was the Qt activity, the Qt application, you know, all these stuff on the left side, that's already been done, and it's been reduced to 2 Java files. And it's been refactored so that it's more robust for change. A little bit like the DQ pointer trick in Qt, trying to do something similar in the Java wrapper. Okay, so I showed you a gradient, whoopie-doo-dah. I mean, yeah, that's fine, but how do you port an actual app, and how do you get that one running and publish it in the Android market. Here's an app, and I can show that. It's pretty simple, but it's an actual app that we are selling for money, which gives us a few beers. I'm switching now to the other phone. Yeah, let's hope the N8 saves the day.
But I didn't pay for that app. I downloaded it.
Which one do I take out? That one, yes. Okay. Let's see. It's a very simple app. It's also not that interesting for you because it's a Norwegian app. I'm Norwegian, so deal with it. It basically shows all the airports of Norway, all 46 of them, and what's the departures and arrivals. And it's using Qt Quick. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so here you say it says flyplass, that's Norwegian for airport, and here you have all the airports of Norway, and Oslo has a lot of flights. So then it goes online, hopefully, yes, and it gets the departures and the arrivals, and we could check another. I'm originally from Stavanger, so let's see when I can go home. Okay, so here you see. This is very simple, but it brings value to people's life and make your life simpler and easier. So therefore, it's worth having. Yes, please swipe. How many changes would it take to get that published in the Android market? That's the question. Here's the answer. Can you switch back to the...
Yes.
Here's the answer. I had to fiddle for about 30 seconds with an if-def to include the right QML and show full screen, hack around the font issue, add some app icons, set the package name, set the minimum SDK version because Android market requires you to do that, and set an API level. What does that actually mean in diff? Here's the first one, very hard. I add or a QoS Android. So basically what's happening here is I'm setting, as I said, I just include the main QML into the resource system. So before it said, if Symbian, do this and show full screen, here I'm also adding Android. So that's not exactly a big change. In the newer versions of Android, there's a bug in the current version of Necessitas, which gives you squares for the fonts. And that's very hard to decipher what actually it says. So very simple trick, I just set everything to bold. Yes, it's not elegant, and we have fixed it more properly in the port, so the Alpha 3 has this fixed. But just to get it working, I just did this small hack. Yes, this is just an actual commit. In Necessitas, or the Qt Creator version, you can set the app icons. And in Android world, you have different resolution modes. You have high DPI, medium DPI, and low DPI. And the app icons needs to follow some certain sizes. So you just take your Symbian silhouette SVG and save it 3 times in 3 different resolutions. And then you add it to the project. And by default in Necessitas, your package name is basically a long name that ends with .examples, the name of your target. You can't publish with that name. So in reverse domain names, you just do com. Whatever your domain name is, and the name of the application. Once you've used that, it's forever used in the Android market. So you have your own namespace, which if you pollute it once, it's there. So you cannot be a little bit, if you just use up good words or something you want to reuse for something serious later, don't use it up on simple examples. And the last thing, set the SDK version. All of these things that you saw, which were touching the manifest file, like setting the app icons and setting the package name, you can do directly in Creator itself. But this one, at the moment, you have to do manually. So you just set the minimum SDK version. Yeah, This one I just did for convenience so that Qt Creator remembers my selection for which target I'm compiling towards. This line is the only interesting. This is just cruft. Okay, so for our little airport app, which we used, let's say we used 2 weeks to make it. It took 1 day to get it to work on Android, right? And these changes to make it ready for packaging, some of these with the minimum SDK version, you also did in 1 day. So you're looking at, apps usually take longer than 2 weeks. Imagine that you've spent, I don't know, 2 months, 4 months on some, I don't know how long the Futurize app that is for DevDays took, but you could get that one on Android, I think, through very simple changes. And that's the essence of my whole talk here. Right. Sometimes the easy part is writing the app. The hard part is getting it published. I'm going to check how I'm doing on time. Yeah, good. For anyone who's tried to publish app in any app store, you've probably had some frustrating moments where, I hear some laughter, where either you don't get feedback for who knows how long, or you get feedback you don't understand, or you're completely lost because nothing is happening. The good news is that Android market is easy to deal with. It's the best one I've tried so far. When you create applications for Android, you are creating a package called APK. It's basically a jar format, which is basically a zipped file. So if you want to see what's in an Android package, you could do unzip-l, and you get the list of all the files in it. And the content has a directory, meta-inf. That's where your signature goes. Whoever signed the package, they have some files in there. Res is where all the icons and some of the strings and whatever lives. Manifest, we talked about already. It says the version number, which capabilities are needed, etc. Classes.dex is whatever Java files you had, which are now compiled into this, probably it's a Dalvik executive, no, what, executable, yes, probably. I'm guessing this is some sort of binary format for Dalvik. And resources.rs, I have no idea what that file is, actually. I couldn't be bothered to find out. And then, so this is if you're making a normal Android application. But we're not normal. We're making a native application, or parts of our application is native. And they've fixed this on a very elegant way, I think, on Android. It's a little bit like the universal binaries for Mac, where you had the PowerPC and the x86 who needed to be in the same file because you were to ship the application to customers and you didn't know which platform they were on. They've done the same thing. So, as I said, Android support ARM and x86, but they have some finer-grained architectures. They have ARM EABI, which is actually ARM v5. And then they have ARM v7a, which is the application version of ARM v7. That's the A part. And then they have x86. So if you were to make an application which should target all of these, and you want to specifically tailor your binaries for each one of them, you could imagine there were some optimizations for ARM v7 that you really wanted to compile in. You can do that because you just have one directory. You have libs ARM EABI, that's for ARM v5, and then you have libs x86, that would be for x86, and then you had libs ARM v7a, most likely, for the ARM v7a native libraries. And most likely they will add more. And when you're installing an application, the packaging system will ask the application, which of these do you support? I have this one as my primary, but I'm also compatible with this one. So you could see a phone which has ARM v7 as its, what should we say, native or default target, would still be able to allow ARM v5 binaries to be used. I don't know if that's quite clear for you, but It's awesome. Okay. We have our package. Well, we have our application, and it's now running and working on Android. How do we actually package it for the Android market? You have two options. You can either bundle Qt, or you can use Ministro. And as I said, Ministro is the smart installer solution, which some of you probably, it's similar to what you have on Symbian, right? I'm gonna drink some water. So, there are pros and cons. Ministro, the smart installer solution, is very developer friendly. You don't need to do much. It's basically supported out of the box. The good thing is that when there are updates, there could be security updates or improvements, or maybe a special build for your architecture, it will be installed on the end user's phones when there is an update, right? So that keeps Qt up to date on the end user's device. That means it can very much tailor towards different architectures. Okay, so you had Army 7 and you had Army 5, but you also have floating point and non-floating point, a neon, no neon, this thing, that thing, whatever thing. And you could, if you wanted to, create a whole set of Qt libraries which are directly targeted towards the architecture that you want to make fast. And it would still, if you do it the right way, be compatible in such a way that your application would run across the different architectures. And then space bandwidth. It's saving a lot of space and bandwidth because it's saving the Qt library on one place on the Android phone. So if you installed one application that uses Qt, the next one that's being installed will not download a new Qt. It will just use the one which is already on the phone. That means when it loads Qt, it will not have it twice in memory either. So it will most likely share it in memory as well when you've loaded it. Negative parts, the user experience the first time you install a Ministro-based application is not the same as when you install a normal Android application. I'll show you in a bit. That could be bad because users don't like change. Updates, that could actually be bad because if somebody suddenly comes and changes Qt under your feet, then suddenly you're lying there because there was a regression or there was something that you fixed which have now been fixed in that Qt, so you shouldn't do this hack you did, for example. But the good thing is that with Ministro, you actually have a tool which enables you to select on your developer phone which version of Qt you should be using. Should you be using the stable one, or the testing one, or the unstable one? So that means that if we're all working together and when a new release is about to come out, an email goes out to anybody who's interested, they test it, and if there are no regressions, it gets pushed later. Otherwise, it's held back. That's the plan anyway. Right. Bundling Qt, good stuff. User experience will be exactly the same as if you were installing any other application. Binary compatibility is not a problem because you know exactly what you shipped and it's not changing. Custom fixes, like the font thing, if you just wanted to fix it yourself, you could just fix it, rebuild Qt, and then you bundle it with your app. Of course, the problem is your app becomes huge. For this app, the flight or the departure arrival times app, the Qt libraries it's downloading is around 16 megs. So you could imagine that if you bundle Qt, worst case, it's 16 megs, right? For this scenario. Let's say you were also supposed to target x86. Well, then you need. There aren't any x86 phones yet in the market, but probably will, maybe. If you were to target x86 as well, then you would double the amount of space that was needed, right? And that's a problem because Android packages can only be maximum 50 megs. So you're hitting a limit. Even if people don't care if it's huge, sometimes you may not be able to include everything you want. yeah, less architectures because of space requirements. And no I can just look there. No updates. That could be bad if there's a security breakage or some awful security thing. If you don't, I mean, you won't get the update automatically. So it's getting hot in here. Yes, question. Is there a microphone for him? Or I can just repeat it.
Would there be a difference in terms of licensing? Because for bundling, it sounds as if you would need a commercial license, right?
Nah, it depends on how you'd bundle.
Recompile and fix and
That's fine.
redistribution.
Yeah, I think that's not a problem. But I mean, there's another seminar about this. But typically, so the question is, what about licensing? Can I use the LGBL version or the GPL or whatever version? Or do I need to get a commercial license? Well, first of all, this project is an open source project. And there is no commercial license for this Qt for Android. There's nobody selling it. So problem solved. But what we're talking about here is either you would link statically with whatever you've built, right? Or you'd build the libraries and link shared. And then we're getting into legalese. I don't think there are any problems. Anybody know if there are problems around this?
Well, the LGPL says that you have to be able to rebuild the application with a new version of the library.
Right. That's a good point. So what he's saying is that the LGPL says that you should be able to rebuild the application with changing the library, right? So you should be able to. So if you were to give out the object files, you could, yeah. Or you could, but the whole point is these custom fixes, the whole point is you push them upstream to the project, right? And then it's not a problem anymore again. Yeah.
The recommendation is to do the dynamic linking as default.
Yeah.
Or else ask your
right.
legal conflict.
Another question?
Yeah, it's actually a comment. So sometimes it happens that way, the library and also the application is packaged into the same package, but with dynamic linking, so there is no license issue.
Yeah.
But the question is that what about file clashes? So because if there are more Qt applications and they all include the Qt library.
If you were to bundle Qt, you wouldn't save it in a common directory. You would save it in the. So his question was, what about name clashes? Or if you bundle Qt A and he's bundling Qt B, are they all overwriting each other? No, because in this case, you would bundle it and have it in your local directory for that application, right? Another question or comment?
If you don't use bundling but use Minister instead, what about the situation when one application demands Qt 4.7 and another one demands Qt 4.11?
Yeah. So the question is, and I think that will be the question for now, and I'll continue with my talk, and then we'll take more of these questions in the end, because now we're getting into details, and we haven't signed the application yet. The question was, what about if one application needs Qt 4.7 and another one needs Qt 4.8? At the moment, the thought is there is only one supported version in Ministro. If you need something else, you're on your own, right? And this version is updated whenever the community is updating it, right? So it's slowly moving. Most likely there won't be a 4.7 and a 4.8 and a 5.0, but this is all up for decisions on whoever does stuff. But at the moment, it's only thought to have one version. Okay, now I'm going to continue. Good questions. So, now let's see time-wise. Okay, 15 minutes left. I'm going to show you how to do it the Ministro way, because it's the easiest, and I didn't have more time. Did I go through this? Yes, sorry. I didn't talk about this. If you were to bundle Qt with your own app, here's how I would do it. I haven't done this myself, so if you know of better ways to do it, then tell. But this is how I would do it with my current knowledge. I would target only ARMv5 because x86 really doesn't exist, and ARMv5 is supported by ARMv7A platforms, so that's fine. I would set API level 7, 8, something like that, because that makes my life easier. I would only include the needed libs. I would find that out through a dependency inspector or whatever. That's not so difficult to do. You have different ELF tools on the native SDK that can help you find that. I would take away the Ministro stuff, obviously. And yeah, beware of Ssl Certs at the moment. So root certificates on the phone exist somewhere. And when you make an SSL connection, it will check with these root certificates if the SSL connection is fine. Now, Qt Network needs these to read them. At the moment, Ministro is the thing that extracts them from Java and makes them available for Qt Network. If you are bundling your own Qt libraries and you're going to do SSL connections, you will have to do this yourself somehow. And then I say, here be dragons, because it's more work and I don't know everything. There probably aren't that many dragons, really. Anyway, Ministro way. At the moment, with Necessitas 0.2.1, when you do a release build, it actually doesn't quite do a release build. So instead, go into the Android directory and write ant release. You then get an unsigned application. And here's the very quick run-through on how you get your own Android account. I'm going to tell you everything here. Credit card and a phone number. Put in stuff. Yes, say yes, I want to pay money with my credit card. And this is a one-time thing. Yeah, it says XXX on the Visa stuff. It's fine. Yes, I was successful. I had money. When you then log in, they ask you to please sign a distribution agreement, which you do. And I can now publish apps. That was it. If I want to earn money on apps, I have to sign up as a merchant. There's a big button that says, do you want to make money or something like that, and you press that. And then you write in more stuff, you sign another agreement, and then it says here, in very small letters, you can now sell application in the Android market. Okay, it's very, very simple. I did that in a matter of minutes. I did read parts of the agreements. You cannot read all that stuff, I mean, honestly. Okay, so we have a package, but it was unsigned, right? We created that with the ant release command. So we're getting close to actually being able to upload this thing. To create a key, you use this command line, Google it, or I will put this presentation on SlideShare after this talk. I'll go and upload it to SlideShare, and I'll tweet it. So if you're on Twitter, search for my name, Snowpong, and you can get the link for this thing then, if you don't want to remember all this stuff. But you create a key. This means it's valid for 10,000 days. Why not? You actually have to have a key which is valid for, I think, until 2030 or something. Or, yeah. Then you sign the package. To verify that it's been signed, you can do verify. And here you see what the actual files are. And it says SM on these. That means they're signed and in the manifest. And it does it in place, so you should rename the file. OK, publishing. What do you need? You need the signed package, you need the high-res app icon, you need 2 screenshots, and screenshots can be a little bit difficult at the moment on Android. In the new, yeah, I'm not kidding. In the ice cream sandwich release, which just is coming out, they finally added a magic button combination which takes a screenshot. That took them 4 major releases before that came. So 2 screenshots, and at this point, you should have come up with a title and a description of your app. Then you click Upload. You put in the APK. That's the package file. Here's the awesomeness. It will test it immediately and tell you everything that's wrong in the list, and you go through and you fix all the stuff. I had 2 tries. First try, fail. Second try, I succeeded. That's pretty damn good. And this happened after a second. A few seconds after I had uploaded it, I got a list of what was wrong with my package. Put in name and whatever. And it's in the store instantaneous. There are no processes that will go in and check anything. That could be bad, that could be good. From my perspective, it's heaven, because that means when I'm done, I'm done. I don't have to wait forever for something to happen, right? So the search and indexing takes longer, but if you know how if you know the package name, which you created yourself, so you should be able to know it, you can find it immediately. So you will actually find this in the store. How many of you have an Android phone? Okay, you can just try and install that thing, and then you get impression of the current state of Necessitas, and then you can make a decision if this is something you want to go for or not at this stage, right? So if the lords of technology and the underlings are with us, we may be able to. Right. Let's see if it actually runs on the S2 as well. Yeah, it's booting. Okay. Nah, I will try it without. Well, okay, I'll just show you the walkthrough of how will it be when you install it the first time on your phone. So you can see it there in the Android market application. Fly Norway. Fly in Norwegian means to fly. Yeah, duh. You press the app, you get a description, you press free, and it says, here are the capabilities I need: network communication and storage. I honestly don't know why it's got storage there, because I don't need storage, so I don't know why that got in. Hey, it's my first time, so be gentle. When you have installed it, it should now, if in the notifications, if you press it, it should just start, right? But it doesn't quite start. It finds out that, hey, I actually need Ministro. And what it says in the blue middle there, it says, this application requires Ministro Qt libraries for Android. Would you like to install it? Then you say yes, and here's where it diverges from a normal Android application installation. Then you get back to the Android market, and you install Ministro. Ministro then finds out, hey, this application needs more libraries. And it downloads them. And here you can see it's downloading Qt Core. And if you're really good eyes, the number says 16 million something something. So the complete download size for the whole thing is 16 megs for that application. Let's see now if the technology works. Whatever. Okay, for the people in front, I will now have a witness. So yes, where are we? There we go. Here's the application icon for the Symbian app, which has been ported with, I don't know, 10 lines of changes to Android. And it launches the app and shows the airports. And if we swipe, we have the, and here you see a little bit of the scrolling speed. And this is the software rasterizer, right? And this is a QML flickable or whatever it's called. And it's a pretty good frame rate. And you can imagine what we can do with the OpenGL-ES implementation. So we select Oslo. Now let's select something else. Stavanger, where I'm from. And you have the, yes, swipe, please. You have the application here. I'm sorry that the technology is not with me today. One good thing with Android Market is that you have really good download statistics. You get to know, and this is just a little bit of it, you get to know which countries, which phones compared to other applications in the same segment. Yeah, lots of stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is excellent. Let's summarize and look at the future. We should always look at the future. Qt on mobile. I would say it has a potentially bright future. I'm optimistic, and I want to really get Qt everywhere, especially on mobile, especially with Qt 5 and Qt Quick. Necessitas is an out-of-the-box experience with some rough edges. if you want to hang around, I can go out afterwards and I can show you how to do that app. Otherwise, most likely tomorrow at 3 or something when I'm speaking again, I will have figured out to get Ubuntu to talk to the projector. And then I'll show for live coding how to do application with Necessitas. Android market, pleasant surprise. Really awesome. So Qt future, you have Qt 5. The next billion, whatever it becomes, seems to be a mobile platform I can target my apps for using Qt. And then you have iOS and BBX. How many of you have heard of BBX? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, I don't know, 5%. BlackBerry just changed their software strategy. They're now going to use QNX on their tablets and their mobile phones. And one of the allowed applications are native applications. And one of the libraries which are already part of their native package is Qt. That means, most likely, in half a year's time or a year's time when they change for real, like it takes time to change a platform, as some of you may know, you may be able to target Qt Quick apps on BlackBerry tablets and phones if they're still around. I mean, this is a cutthroat business, but what we're interested in, at least I, is to be able to target as many platforms as possible with as little effort as possible and do it and have fun with Qt, because I'm having so much fun when I'm using Qt Quick. What you should take with you from this talk is, for this to really work, I mean, it is working. It is in the Android market. I did it. I'm not the first who did it. And I mean, Bogdan and Ray and the other guys who are really working on the port are the heroes of this Android port. But we need you as well to join us. You don't have to be super coder who does low-level stuff. You know, there's documentation. There is just testing. There's maybe you have a phone which nobody else has. Or maybe you care about something that nobody else cares about. You can be part of this. So it's called Necessitas. It has 2 mailing lists. One is on Google Groups, Android-Qt. The other one is in KDE. That's for developers. Necessitas is actually a KDE project. So it's hosted on KDE. The source code is on KDE. And every contributor has signed the KDE contributor agreement thingy, which means that the stuff they do can be upstreamed to Qt. So all the changes which goes into Necessitas can and will be, if it's allowed and it's an OK change, upstreamed to Qt. The whole point is to get Qt for Android as a first-tier platform for Qt. There's a very good page on repositories, because it's kind of difficult to know which repository is it that works this time. Right? So go in there and you get an overview of the repositories. And there's a wiki page. As you can see, this has moved a little bit. These are the links to get you started. Just to finish off, it's already possible. You can deploy either through bundling Qt, because I know that some people have done that as well, or using Ministro and Necessitas, a Qt Quick application to the Android market. I didn't publish it anywhere. My partner in crime, Marius, he tweeted it against my will. But we had a little bit of downloads already. It would be fun if you try out the link. Yeah, if you just go here with your Android phone, bit.ly/qtfly, it will take you directly to the Android market page, and you can just press install from there. There's a long link underneath for those. Here is it on the Android market. Here it is on the phone. And the lucky few people in the front did actually see it running. That's what I had. Thank you. Thank you. So we have a question down here. And there's a question down there. Yeah. So, well, you start, please.
Yeah, right. I have several questions, actually, but I take the most important. I have several questions, but I'll take the most important one first.
Yes.
Qt has a pretty extensive system for translations.
Yes.
How does that work on Android?
Basically, what we'd need. So, basically, the question is translations on Android. I haven't tried it yet, but basically, the way translations work is that you detect what's the locale of the phone, and then you load whatever translation you have. And I see no reason at all that this doesn't work on Android.
So, are they packaged with the application? Or can you
that really depends on how you do it, but the way I do it is that I just put it as part of the resources. And then when in the main function, I simply do what's the locale, and then I try and auto-load the translation, because you could say just to Qt, install translation or whatever it's called. And if it's not there, it just defaults back to English, which you got in the code. If it's there, it works.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, you could just pick anybody with the hand in the air.
Hi. My question was how tightly bound is the whole Necessitas and QMake? Are you basically stuck with QMake, or is there any chance of getting CMake to run or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So the way that the build system at the moment works is that QMake is used for building the C++ stuff, the Qt stuff. I think Ant is used for building the Java parts. And then Ant is also used to create the package. So if you can already use CMake to build the Qt stuff, then I think you just need a little bit of fixes to make CMake and Ant work together. Because I'm not quite sure who calls who. So I'm not sure. But it's fairly separated, I think. So it could be done. There's a guy down there I think should be allowed. He's been holding his hand up forever.
I just wanted to comment quickly. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to comment quickly on the previous question that at the unconference yesterday that came up, and the answer was, please come and help.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. It just needs someone to write the CMake module to make it work.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'll probably take him, and then we've seen you. We will. Yeah.
Thank you. So just I would like to be interested in that, whether there is any research or experiment in the background about KDE. So, for example, KDE libs for Android.
KDE libs and for Android. I haven't heard anybody working on that. But what kind of other libraries would KDE libs need, native libraries that you know of?
Yeah, that's also a question.
Well,
because there are other packages that need to be there.
Yeah. One of the things that I was looking into was GStreamer. It would be cool if GStreamer would work for Android, but I really don't know, or other sorts of audio libraries like that, because then you could tie it in with Q Multimedia or some things like this. But yeah, please.
Yes, thank you. More on the internationalization, virtual keyboards. How if I make an app and provide a Spanish translation and it runs on a Spanish phone, I wouldn't want to provide a Spanish keyboard.
But that's usually the keyboard is provided by the phone itself.
Okay, so we have a keyboard that's provided by the phone, and
yeah,
that's fully integrated and no.
No, I don't think it's good enough yet with the full integration. I think it pops up and down when it should, but sometimes it doesn't. I mean, there are some rough edges around the virtual keyboard up and down and positioning and stuff like that. It's not perfect yet, but basically the keyboard is provided by the operating system, or it's not the operating system, it's the whatever we call it, windowing system. Yeah. Question here, 2 questions.
Hi. You mentioned that the current integration is done using the Java Qt activities. You also mentioned that it's now possible to write the application in fully native C++.
Yep.
Is that on the roadmap?
No, because the wish at the moment is to target the APIs. Sorry, that was introduced in some later API levels. And if you were to do it this way, you would lose some parts of the market share of Android phones. So I can't remember which API level it was introduced, but that was one of the thoughts. And also, if you only do the native activity, at some point you most likely want to drill into the Java world to call functions which simply aren't there yet in the native libraries. Like maybe some Google Maps or maybe some, I don't know, location sensors. It's not sure that everything is there in the native world yet. So that's another reason to just stay in the hybrid thing. How are you doing for time? When do we have to? Okay, one more question. You've never had the question, please. Sorry.
Okay. When you develop an app on Android in a normal Java way, you have this fancy things like intents. So you can just start an intent for do something like open a map or scan a barcode or something like that. Is this still possible with Qt in this way, in a simple way?
It's not supported in any elegant way right now by Qt. You would have to, most likely you would have to make a small bridge from Qt and write your own Java part, which you, through JNI, simply call to call an intent. That's what I would have done.
Okay, so it's possible to run Java code from the inside of the C++ application?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
So you can go both ways. It's not that easy, and it's not that well documented, but it's some of the things that everybody's going to need. So this way to call Java from C++ and the way to call C++ from Java, I'm sure we will have a method of doing that in a nice way, and when the need really arises and people agree.
Okay,
but it's technically possible. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think that was it. I'm gonna go outside, and if you want to talk to me, feel free. Thank you so much for coming.